So a lot of people are watching the Derek Chauvin murder trial, and for a lot of reasons. Some are just curious. Some are interested in this trial for any number of reasons. I myself am interested because I know what I saw. I know that I saw a man or a bunch of men murder a helpless black man. Now, it depends on your vantage point what you'll decide. What the country or the jury is being asked to decide is what they saw. And you'll hear all the tropes. Oh, they were strong. They were still a threat. You know, of course, it was a loud crowd. He was distracted from doing his job. What this trial says or can say is that you can't just murder black people with impunity. That there are things that you cannot do. And particularly, you cannot do those things in full view. No longer can you murder black people in public view in a public square. Or it will say that you can. It will say that what we thought we saw, we didn't. It will say that nothing that they can do to us is unacceptable. It will say that the country is open for business as usual. That was as heinous as it gets, and I guarantee you the only reason the trial has gone this far, that this many people are invested in it, is because people couldn't turn away. There was a pandemic, there were less distractions, people had to see. And your vantage point, your ideology, what you believe will determine what you saw, your perspective. There was a man laying there, whether he was on drugs or not, whether he struggled at the beginning or not, 9 minutes and 29 seconds with a man laying on his neck. And I defy you to tell me, drugs are not, that any human being, I don't care how resolute, how strong, could take that kind of punishment. Anybody. And if Derek Chauvin believes that that's a realistic argument, how about let somebody of equal size of him sit on his neck? This is not for us a spectator sport. It is for us, what is this country going to allow? Because if they allow this, nothing is off limits. If they allow man to be murdered in full view with witnesses, they can do anything. This is not just the trial of a man in a uniform. It is the trial of a nation. It decides who we are and what we'll accept. Will we be what we always were when this was commonplace? Because believe it or not, this is not the first time America has watched a black man be murdered in front of their eyes. It used to be something they did on Sundays as a form of entertainment. It used to be something that was a family event. They used to eat food and watch us be tortured and die. Now, if we've evolved from that, then the verdict is simple. If we haven't, it is simple too. They will decide to be what they always have been. They will decide that it is business as usual. They will decide that there's nothing to see here. They will decide, as they always have, that this man bought it on himself by just being a big, black, strong man who happened to run across a policeman on the wrong day. This is not about anything other than what we are as a country. Will we be what we have always been? A country that can avert its eyes to the screams and suffering of black and brown people? Or will we be different? This is a trial to decide, can you keep doing these things? This is the trial to decide not only what happened to George Floyd, but what will happen to our sons and our daughters and our fathers and our mothers. When will this stop? This is not a game to us. This is not a spectator sport to us. This is for all the marbles. This is how we will be as a nation. Will you believe what you saw on that tape? Will you believe that you saw a man murder a helpless man? Or will you believe the tropes that are being bantered around? What are you going to believe? What is going to be your judgment? Are you going to believe what you know in your heart to be true? Or are you going to believe their lying words? That's a little note from the GED section. We got the Jazz Report coming up in 15 minutes. It is the D.L. Hughley Show.